beaches, a nice view, good air, fresh air. That's classroom. So this is where we're going to wrap up the events of Masada. So we've reached as far as we know that there's a mountain here. It's fortified. It has all the supplies, and the war begins. Okay, I'm not going to go into the details of the war. This is something you're going to have to fill in the gaps your own. Why did it start? By whom? What were the Jews so upset with being, the only? Why were they the only nation uprising against the mighty Roman Empire? Okay, a lot of big questions. But the reality is that the Romans are not happy with this one nation who are rebelling, and they send legions to crush these people that are trying to fight the empire. And the legions come from north, from Syria. They're led by the king, well, the general Titus. Actually, his father was before him. And they start the war up north, and they start folding down the cities. The cities fall one after the other until Jerusalem. The day of Jerusalem is 70 A.D. Okay. The actual date is a famous date. It has a name. You know the name? Tisha B'Av. Okay, you've heard of a day called Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av in America is Tisha B'Av. Okay, Tisha B'Av, the 9th day of the month Av, is the day the temple burns in Jerusalem. And Jerusalem, the people are sent to exile, and they're murdered, and they're expelled, and a bunch of them run away through the desert, and they come here, they climb the mountain, and they find refuge here. The numbers are just shy of 1,000. Families, men, women, children. And they come here, and they're pretty safe, because we saw the luxury, we saw the safety that this mountain gives them. We know that they have all the water and food they need, and they're actually doing pretty well. And if it wasn't for the Roman way of not cutting corners, maybe no one would have even noticed. But for some reason, the Romans had to prove that they are going to crush this rebellion, this revolt, and not leave anyone, living peacefully somewhere on this remote fortress. So they send the legions down here to catch those final 1,000 refugees. Okay, a full legion comes here. It's like 15 or 20,000 men, with all the artillery, weapons, military supplies they have. The general, his name is Robert O'Toole, who said? No. Flavius Silva, okay? A lot of you have watched the movie Masada, and that role is played by Peter O'Toole, so people are they're misled. It's not Peter O'Toole, it's Flavius Silva. He's the general. And then the war, so the first thing the Romans do is they put the siege around the mountain, okay? They think that if they can
attack from all sides.
Well, not attack. They can isolate the refugees, so they'll die from hunger or thirst. They have to go. They have to come. So that's when they build that siege compound that I showed you from the northern palace. A wall that goes all the way around, and 8 camps for the Roman soldiers. That's what I said. There's 2 layers, one on top of the other. This is hardly anything we can show from the rebels. We can show the legions that came, and they put the siege, but it doesn't help. Because the siege only helps if people have no supplies and there's no way to bring them food and water and medicine. They don't need anything here. They have everything. You saw the cisterns. You saw the storage rooms. They have the king's food to eat. And they hang in here for a long while. Not really sure how long. 2 to 3 years. Because no one's absolutely sure when they came here. We know there's a 3-year gap between Jerusalem and the fall of Masada. But during those 3 years, it's not really sure when the Romans came and when the siege started. Halfway through, or maybe just 1 year. The reality of the story, we all know this from Josephus' writings, that after a while, Flavius, his orders are crush the Jews, and the siege does not work, does not succeed. So he comes up with plan B, and he builds the Roman ramp that we walked on to enter the mountain. What he does, he takes the easiest accessible place to the mountain where the where the hills around are the closest. You saw it's only a 15-minute walk. That area where we came from, down that side. And with all the slaves and the workers that he can collect, they start taking bucket by bucket, spilling it on one on top of the other, and they build a ramp to bridge between the hills on the side and the summit of Masada. That's the Roman ramp. When the ramp's ready, they push up these big war machines, okay? When we got off the bus and we met near a big wooden structure, it's over there, near those two green buses, like a wooden thing. That's one of the war machines that the props department for the Masada movie left here after they shot the movie on location. Okay, all my Hollywood friends. Well, those are the war machines. They push them up the ramp. They can bring them as close as they can to the walls of the Masada. And now they have to start, what's the word, ramming them down. And then Josephus, he gives us the whole account of they're battering it down. The rebels are firing arrows at the soldiers. Then they light it, and then they put fire to the walls. And then they put the fire off. And this goes on for a couple of weeks. And then the final day, when it looks like that's the Jewish rebellion, the Jewish rebels, they know that it's done for. That's it. The Romans will be in overnight. Then something really, really strange happens. The commander of the mountain, a Jewish leader, his name is Elazar ben Yair. Elazar ben Yair. Elazar, the son of Yair. He gathers all the men and women of the group together, maybe in this location exactly, and he gives what we call Elazar's final speech. When I was a younger guy, I used to read the speech at this point, and after the second chapter, it was hard for me to wake everyone up, so I don't read it anymore. Okay, it's long and detailed. In a nutshell, okay, Elazar tells the people, tomorrow the Romans are in here. We have two choices. We can three actually. We can fight them till we're all dead, but that's, one option. We can surrender and go as captives to slavery, and we could be, taken prisoners. And then he comes up and offers them a third option and persuades them to follow him with his third option. Elazar's third idea is, let us all commit mass suicide. When the Romans come here, there will be no one alive. We'll show them that we preferred to death